It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson, and it is my pleasure to be with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Tonight, we'll see the Toronto Raptors as they play against the Los Angeles Clippers at Staples Center. Checking out the Clippers, they haven't forgotten the fact that this team swept them last year in the regular season. This is a game they had circled going in. Can we talk about Kawhi Leonard, guys?
Sure.
He's become one of only very few players ever to win a Defensive Player of the Year and a Finals MVP. And he just keeps on getting better, Kenny.
His ability to guard multiple positions. His length can ball the point guards. His strength and size can ball the power forwards. I mean, this guy does it all. He can ball hawk, and he's patient. You know, as the San Antonio Spurs are as a team, very patient and very diligent.
And he's the best perimeter defender in the league since Ron Artest.
Thanks for joining us. We're going courtside to Kevin Harlan.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of
We're coming at you from the Staples Center in beautiful downtown Los Angeles as the Clippers prepare to take the floor. This is the last stop for the Raptors before returning to Toronto. After dropping the first 3 games of the season, they need to turn it around.
And for the Raptors, they haven't gotten anything to go their way here early on. What do they have to do to turn this thing around?
Well, Greg, I think the most important thing is they've got to start playing as a team instead of a bunch of soloists.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. So for Toronto right now, Dragic is out there with Champ. Then it's Roy Hibbert. Then it's Damari Carroll. And it's Scola in at the power forward position. Offense is what drives the Clippers, and they were fantastic at it last season. Easily one of the most exciting teams to watch with their high-flying and high-scoring act and #1 in terms of efficiency.
Yeah, and it's not just a flash for the Clippers on offense. You talked about their efficiency on the offensive end. Led the league in points scored per 100 possessions at 109.8.
And here's George. Scola with the triple moments ago. Outside, George. Jordan against Hibbert. 5 on the clock. Here's Jackson. And misses it off the right side of the rim. For Toronto, they come in off the loss to the Lakers in Los Angeles.
And it's a tough game to lose. I mean, they actually put up a pretty solid effort, I thought. But when you're battling for a road win, even when you play hard, nothing's guaranteed.
Well, Greg, I think you've got to try to convert the positives. Take them into the momentum of your next game and use them for momentum, and then take what you did well and double down the efforts here tonight.
Hibbert with a screen for Dragic. Passes to Champ. Down low. Hibbert gets the bucket.
And he's starting to get what he wants here early and often. Nice move.
And about 2 minutes played here in the first quarter. Now Jackson. George with the screen on Dragic. The pass to George. Launches a 3. Rebound by the Raptors.
Boy, he's got a nice-looking stroke. That almost went in.
Yeah, and a lot of times he'll still knock those down no matter how good the D is.
Now here's Scola. 14 points from him the last game against the Lakers.
And equally impressive on the backboards. I thought his rebounding was huge.
Ibaka against Hibbert. It's stolen by Ibaka. And here's the fast break. Jordan leading the way. And down it goes, jamming that one home.
That is up-tempo basketball at its best. So much easier to operate in the open court when a steal triggers the break.
And really, basketball is about rhythm, and that allows your offense to flow better. Now let's see if they can build on it and keep this lead.
And so here are the Clippers after the Raptors pick up 2. Ibaka, the pass to Jackson. Back to Ibaka. No good. Excellent D there for Scola. Raptors with the lead. Carroll dishes to Dragic. That drops. Dragic has got his first 2 points.
4 or 5 shots have dropped for them already. Not a bad way to get things started.
Dragic against Jackson. It's stolen by Dragic. And that's a foul. It's called on Reggie Jackson. That is his first foul of the game. Coach is liking Clark what he's seeing from his offense.
And shoot, why wouldn't he? I mean, guys, they're filling it up with ease, executing, getting quality shots. I mean, this is fun to watch.
And guys, they put the defense on the defensive.
Clippers trail by 5. Screen by Ibaka. Jackson kicks to George. There's a good screen. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. Everyone understands the importance of Paul George to the ball club. That's why taking his offensive game to the next level would be so beneficial.
Yeah, he has all the physical tools, the instincts, and obviously he has made those strides. But if he wants to become a top 5 guy, he's still got a little bit of work to do in terms of his game.
They throw good. Paul George.
For my man PG, Paul George, so much focus has been on extending his range, but ever since he started launching over 5 3-pointers a game, he shot under 43% from the field. Maybe time for him to balance out that shot selection.
And so he's able to get 1 of 2.
And guys, talking about Paul George, the continued improvement of his ball handling is key to generating more offense. That was a weakness of his coming out of college. He's worked on it, but making it a strength the way LeBron has would go a long way toward getting him to that next level.
J.R. Smith's checked in for the Clippers. Clippers on defense, trailing by 4. Rebound by Smith.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that.
And George, here we go. A strong finish under heavy pressure all over. George has got 5 points so far.
Hard to get that one off with the size difference there. That makes it a tough individual matchup for him, especially down low.
Well, took on the big guys going in there and challenging them like he did. But boy, that was a nice job.
Now here's Leonard. Really played well against Portland in his last outing. Offensive rebound. And stolen by Hibbert. Dragic against Smith. Dragic the pass to Hibbert. Dishes to Carroll. There's the triple. Shot's good.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
Clippers trail by 5. Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Hi, Kevin. I caught up with head coach Dwayne Casey. He knows one of the hardest parts on scoring against this defense has to do with their prolific shot blocker, Serge Ibaka. He told me he's one of those guys who can get in your head a little bit because he's so mobile. You often don't see him coming. And Kevin, you add in his great rebounding and ability to hit from mid-range, and he's always an X-factor for them. Back to you.
Thanks, Doris. Now, Scola. Kawhi Leonard missing from long range. The shot by Carroll, no good.
Rare you'll see him miss such an open look.
Smith dishes to Jordan. Knocked loose. It's stolen by Carroll. Out to the right wing. Wide open look. And he hits the jump shot. And let's get your take, guys, on the hustle stats for the Raptors.
They've come out in attack mode on the defensive end. They've applied pressure and forcing turnovers.
You know, another factor in their offense so far has been their ability to convert and score off turnover.
James Johnson's checked in for Toronto.
That was your Spirit Dance team. Give it up.
Here's George. He really was a guy also who stepped up in that win against the Blazers. Smith outside. Out to the right wing. Shot clock at 5. Here's Ibaka. No good off the back of the rim.
Unnecessary to go to the fadeaway there. It wasn't needed. Could have just kept it simple and taken the easy shot.
Dragic kicks to Johnson. Pass to Champ. The dish to Carroll. Lets it go with a 3. That's good. Carroll's got 6 points. Well, the Raptors show they can be a force in offense once again. That was very clearly a strength of the team last year, Greg.
Yeah, and Toronto has a lot of guys that can hurt you in a variety of ways. They can score in the half court, but are really explosive enough to get out and run if teams want to push the tempo.
And here is Los Angeles now. Raptors knocking down the tray.
He's having quite the quarter here, guys. I mean, shooting the ball extremely well.
Raptors leading by 7. Now here's Dragic. 17 points for him last game against the Lakers in Los Angeles.
And what I enjoyed when watching that game was the way he balanced getting his shot and also incorporating his teammates.
You know, guys, another factor that made the Raptors so good on offense last year was their free throw shooting. I mean, they were second in the league and first in the East as they made over 78% of their foul shots.
Toronto's gone 3 of 4 on three-pointers in the first quarter, doing well from long range. Champ, the pass to Carroll. Good work defensively by Smith. Clippers trail by 7.
And there is a measurement in the NBA called true shooting percentage. It takes into account the values of 2s, 3s, and how you get to the line. That free throw percentage of the Raptors had them as the 6th best offense in terms of true shooting last season.
Toronto with the ball. Kawhi Leonard getting his 3 to go. Feeds it to Hibbert. Carroll, no one around him. And he can't answer back. The three-pointer offline.
And this quarter, he has clearly been off the mark.
And George kicks to Smith. And Leonard has it in the corner. Ibaka with a screen on Carroll. And here's Leonard from 3. The Los Angeles Clippers coming to this one after the win against Portland.
I mean, no stress in that one. The game almost looked like a shoot-around for them. Amazing at how well they shot the basketball.
And even more impressive, Greg, considering it was on the road. I mean, it's rare that you see a team get that hot away from home.
Deep 2 from Carroll. Tipped away. Second shot opportunity, and the shot is long.
Can't get anything to drop. I mean, the way he's going, it's probably not something he should try and shoot his way out of it.
Well, they say you should shoot your way out of it, but his teammates probably have other thoughts in mind. The last thing they want to see him doing is continuing to cast that jumper up.
So, timeout called here, the first for Toronto.
And it's not often that one of your enforcers is also one of your best three-point shooters, but such is the case with J.R. Smith. Everywhere he's gone, he's played both roles, sometimes to the team's benefit, but others to its detriment.
Bargnani has checked in for Los Angeles. Batum comes in for Serge Ibaka. And then Johnson with the dunk.
And a sturdy screen set for him that time, and he doesn't fool around, just straight to the rim for the finish.
No way for his man to get around that one, that's for sure.
No chance, Kevin. I mean, the screen was in the right spot. His feet were set. You would have had to go straight through him, and that's not legal.
Here's Smith after Toronto picking up the basket just moments ago. Bargnani kicks to Leonard. No good. That puts him at 2 for 6.
And not a night he's going to want to remember, just not really able to score the basketball.
Johnson sets the screen for Joseph. He dishes it to Johnson. Here's Champ. No good with the triple. Greg on the topic of Smith. You never know what his personality is going to bring to the game, or Clark, even the moment.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Moment to moment, it's an adventure. When the good JR is rolling, he's knocking down threes, playing solid D, creating havoc for the opponent. Bad JR is taking and missing wild shots, going to sleep on defense, and causing problems for his own team.
Yeah.
And Nicholas Batum injuring his wrist last season. He was pushed in the back by Larry Sanders on a dunk and went down hard.
Free throw good, Nicholas Batum. We saw that wrist bother Batum all season long. His shooting numbers down drastically. Clark, a major blow for him.
And you know what? The league might have to look at that. I mean, Sanders got a one-game suspension, but is that really enough to discourage that kind of reckless foul? It's a thin line, but I think it's worth a further look.
And guys, Nicholas Batum is a real greyhound on the floor. The guy's got long strides, runs fast, long and limber. Clark, he covers a lot of ground.
Extremely active at both ends of the court, Kevin. Great versatility. He can defend three positions, and he's played big minutes for the Blazers.
Now, here is Smith. He's a good contributor to his team, averaging about 10.5 points a game. Takes the turnaround J. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
And guys, now the NBA has what's called player tracking. I mean, they can show how much ground a player can cover over the course of a season. And Nicholas Batum, always amongst the leaders. 2 seasons ago, he was #1. And Batum with that slender build, you know, you like his height and length, but he can get pushed around at times. I think he could still stand to add some strength.
That one is no good.
Guys, Bargnani was compared to several other international players when he came out. Some said he was Nowitzki. Others thought he might be more like Yao Ming in terms of impact. Ming was the only other player taken 1 overall who had never played high school or college hoops.
Here's George, following the basket by Gerald Henderson. There's the pick. Batum, a screen on Henderson. George double teamed. Batum wide open, he fired. The shot's good on the assist by George. Batum's got it all tied up now for the Clippers. And going back to international comparisons, Bargnani was keeping some pace with Nowitzki over his first 5 years, but that's when the injury bug laid into him, and that's not been the case.
You know, and Bargnani was really starting to play great on the offensive end, and defensively, he started to make an impact, but Nowitzki, on the other hand, just kept rising all the way to that true Hall of Fame status. Bargnani still searching.
Henderson against Smith. And here's George for 3. No good on that last second attempt there. It's all tied here in Los Angeles. And we'll get things started in the second quarter when we return. And forward James Johnson battled his way back into the league after some stints abroad. He talked about his approach to the game. That's exactly the kind of hard-nosed, old-school attitude that coaches just love.
And Kevin, and so do his teammates. I mean, a guy like that brings out the best in everybody on that team. They just kind of feed off of his effort and desire.
Well, up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. And guys, what's your take on the Clippers so far?
They're just very aggressive on the offensive side of the ball, attacking the rim in this first quarter. A lot of trips to the free throw line.
Taking full advantage of playing at home, and the fans have really helped them here.
Batum is out there with Bargnani. And there's Jackson. Then there's J.R. Smith. And it's Aldridge in at the 5, home in the paint. They're the group out there for the Clippers starting the second quarter. Toronto with the ball. The Clippers getting the bucket. Johnson kicks to Patterson. Patterson, the screen. Henderson dishes to Patterson. Pass to Henderson. Fires it up. And the shot falls short this time. The Clippers in the lead. Jackson with it. And it's Johnson picking him up. Batum attacking. Bargnani passes to Smith. That shot wide open. Smith's got 5 now. Second quarter, and we're just over a minute in. Here's Joseph. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. And Patterson kicks to Anderson. The good-looking shot from the wing.
His eyes were wide open there, guys. Excellent vision to see they had an open shot outside and get it there.
Outside Jackson. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. That's on Patrick Patterson.
And guys, Reggie Jackson was at the end of a yo-yo last season. He starts at Oklahoma for an injured Westbrook. Westbrook comes back, sends Jackson to the bench. Then Oklahoma sends Jackson to Detroit, where he fills in for another injured starter in Brandon Jennings for the rest of the year.
And the first one drops. Now getting back to Jackson, he showed several times last season that he has that starter ability. The Thunder knew they wouldn't have the money to re-sign him, Clark, in free agency, so they traded him to avoid losing him for nothing.
Yeah, and that's a good move. And with the Pistons, Jackson finished the season strong, while the Thunder, without Jackson or Durant's contributions, missed the playoffs for the first time in years.
So he hits 1 of 2 from the stripe. Reggie Jackson had made some noise about wanting a big contract to be moved last year. Ultimately, he was traded to Detroit.
Yep, Kevin traded from the Thunder to the Pistons, and it actually happened on deadline day.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Yeah, you can't say that with enough emphasis. I mean, the defenders are just not being aggressive enough down low. You got to play with some physicality in the paint.
Now here's Leonard. He has 5. No one near Smith as he lets it go. Nailed from three-point land. Smith's got 5 points now this quarter.
And if you go back, remember Jackson struggled with the Pistons last year as well. So the team went on a losing streak as soon as he got there.
So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
And Jackson will look for a fresh start this season. I mean, hard to play with all the drama and questions going in your head about pending free agency.
All right, now, take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And he makes the first.
And the Clippers, not known for being an outside shooting team, but they take a large amount of deep mid-range 2s as well as their fair share of 3s.
Roy Hibbert's checked in for the Raptors. Dragic comes in for Gerald Henderson. Scola hits them both. For the Clippers, you think of Lob City and it's all dunks, but the reality is, Clark, as Greg was just talking about, that just isn't the case.
It really isn't. I mean, they also led the league in pull-up shots attempted by a wide margin, about 24 pull-up Jays a game.
Now, here is Ibaka. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Really left alone that time.
And he's on a good pace here from three-point range. Made 1 in the first, 2 more here in the second. It seems like with more to come.
Here in the second quarter, about 3 minutes played. Carroll kicks to Scola. Tried to come right back with the 3 of his own, but it's no good.
He hit a 3 in the first, but so far has been unable to capitalize here in this quarter.
And just because you can make it from outside doesn't mean you need to live there.
Not that far out anyway, Greg. I mean, he can work for a better shot than that. You know, he didn't need to make the layup complicated. I mean, it's not a trick shot contest, but he decided to go for a little extra flavor on that one.
Now here's Jackson. Outside Leonard. And here in the second quarter of action as we approach 4 minutes played. It's stolen by Carroll. Now here's Joseph. Guarded by Jackson. Good! And it's now only a 1-point Los Angeles lead.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Well, I agree with you. 4 of their last 5 baskets have been exactly of that variety.
Smith outside. He feeds it to Leonard. Clock at 6. Long shot on the way. Outside for Jackson. Three-pointer. No luck. And Toronto will come the other way. And this is the first season matchup for them against this Clippers team.
Yeah, and they got the better of this matchup both times they faced off last season. Do they still have their number?
Well, the sample size wasn't that big. I mean, 2 games, not a lot to go on. But they are 2 teams at the top of the pile in each of their conferences. And because of that, I expect it to be competitive.
And who has been a greater enigma than Roy Hibbert, a guy who can look like an all-star Clark one game and an undrafted free agent the next?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing the kind of swings Roy has had. He's been really good at times. Sometimes he gets in his own way with overthinking things, but I think he's got everything he needs to be an upper-tier center, upper echelon center. Just has lacked consistency the last year or 2.
And on the topic of Hibbert, he was an enigma in college, had a very encouraging junior season, looked like a future lottery pick, and then that uninspiring senior season, which kind of dropped his draft stock considerably.
The Clippers trail. Jackson with it. Kicks it to Ibaka. Smith outside. Leonard on the wing. Carroll covering. Smith outside to end the run. Rebound by the Raptors. Hibbert's got his 3rd rebound tonight.
You know, going back to Hibbert, last season was a perfect example of what we're talking about in terms of consistency. One game he puts up 22 and 8, the next game 2 and 1. But you know, every team in the league would like to be in the Roy Hibbert game once the light finally goes on and stays on. Consistency the challenge for Hibbert.
Dragic against Jackson. It's Dragic with the drive. And pushing it up. Here's the Clippers. Here's Smith. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. 15 points for J.R. Smith.
And started hot, and he's only gotten hotter.
Dragic kicks to Carroll. Hibbert dishes to Joseph. Hibbert with a screen on Smith. Outside Carroll. Offensive rebound. Hibbert hits the bucket. Hibbert's got the game tied up here for the Raptors.
Where's the box out? Some easy second chance opportunities there.
Those kinds of mistakes drive me crazy and will absolutely derail a team's chance to win.
Now here's Jackson. Smith kicks to Jordan. Smith left side. The feed to Jackson. Fires high post. Hits the front of the rim and out. The Raptors have gone 6 of 11 from the floor. Over 50% shooting here in the second quarter. Here's Scola, and easy 2 points on the layup. Scola's got 9.
They have repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid dividends.
And with as many points as they've gotten in the paint, you know, they haven't had to do much work on the perimeter.
Now here is Ibaka. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Jackson, that's good.
Those are the kind of nice inside looks they've gotten in the first half here.
And I think they should continue to work the ball down low, Clark. It's really going to free up their outside shooting.
Dragic against Jackson. Dragic the pass to Scola. Scola can't get that one to fall. For Los Angeles, they've gone 7 of 13 from the field since the start of the second. Jackson misses. Toronto's gone 0 of 3 from beyond the arc to start the second quarter. Scola sets a screen for Dragic. Screen by Scola. Now here's Joseph. Guarded by Jackson. Here's Scola. Soft touch off the glass. Scola's got 8 points here in this quarter.
Very well executed pick to give him all kinds of space to get that one off.
LA's gone 2 for 5 from three-point land since the end of the first. Jordan the screen. Smith outside. Ibaka sets the pick for Smith. Top of the key, Ibaka shoots it. Yes, and it's Smith with the assist that time. Ibaka's got his first points of the game.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
You know, the defense, Greg, has really been kept off balance because of the outstanding passing. 4 straight field goals have been made off an assist.
A different look for the Clippers. Bargnani is checked in for Jordan. Batum comes in for Serge Ibaka. And it's Paul George in for Smith. And then for Toronto, Johnson comes in for Luis Scola. And Champ subbed in for Joseph. Now here's Dragic. A good portion of the scoring has come from him. He averages more than 18 points a game. Makes it off the glass. Dragic has got his second bucket.
The D on him has to be airtight, guys. You got to get into his airspace. And that was far from it.
Jackson kicks to George. Bargnani sets the screen for George. From the arc. It's hauled in by the Raptors. They've led by as much as 10. Following this one, they get to host the Cavaliers. That game will be a quick pit stop before hitting the road again.
They're getting on a roll inside. Their last 3 field goals have come from inside the paint area.
There's got to be a wall of defense when it comes to attacking the paint. Plain and simple.
Now, here's Bargnani. Picked by Bargnani. And stolen by Hibbert. Here's Champ. He had a 33-point outing in their last game against the Lakers in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and he also did a great job on the backboards, Kev. That also was a factor.
Now here's Dragic. They grab their own miss. A second chance effort. He lays it in. Dragic has got 6.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And when you make 5 in a row in close like that, it also takes pressure off your perimeter guys, too.
Here's Jackson. Picked by Bargnani. Jackson dishes to Leonard. Outside for George. And the serious dunk to finish it off.
That was an excellent burst to the hoop for that throwdown. I mean, he's a laser beam guy. Fast as light. Well, you know, you look at the Raptors, and they improved in a number of ways last season, but their bench play was one of their bigger improvements. I mean, they had one of the weaker benches in the league in 2014, but they flipped that around last year.
Now here's Jackson. 1:32 left to play here in the second quarter. He kicks it to George. Free throw line jump shot. And he wills that one in, sinking right through off the back iron.
Offensively, he can be the engine that drives them at any given time.
Jackson against Dragic. Six to shoot. And you can count it. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it 3.
Not a lot of resistance on the inside, and they're taking full advantage.
Greg, the play in the paint has gone almost entirely all their way.
Cole Aldrich, he's checked in for Leonard. Then for the Raptors, Patrick Patterson, he's checked in for Hibbert. And it's Henderson for DeMarre Carroll.
Another trip to the stripe for him, and I tell you what, a little bit of a different feel here in the second quarter. A little more banging going on.
Man, and it's really served them well. Seeking out the contact you mentioned and putting pressure on the defense.
Now here's Jackson. Passes to George. Launches a 3. George missing again.
Not sure why he keeps trying his luck from deep here. It's just not his night.
Even though he isn't having the best of game from the floor, it hasn't seemed to hurt him.
There's the triple. And it's Dragic with the rebound.
He's been wayward and just off on about everything he's put up in this period.
Here's Champ. And we know he can score. He's averaging around 21.5 points a game. And that one is hammered home.
And nobody, guys, among the defenders stepping up to challenge him on that drive to the 10.
And Greg, he says, thank you very much, and sails in for the flush. He got it! He got it!
3 points at the buzzer.
Definitely an answer to prayer there.
And a pretty tightly contested game here as we end the first half. The Raptors out in front. They're up by 4. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Well, thank you, Kevin. Doc, what haven't you liked about the defense thus far?
A lot of things. Some of it was over turnovers, trying to do too much with the ball, but we didn't show up with any defensive intensity. And for us to win, we're going to have to do that.
Coach, thank you so much. Back to you guys at the table.
All right, Doris, thank you. And stay with us, folks. We'll be back just after halftime to get the third quarter underway.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We're going to break down the first half action for you. The first quarter for the Raptors was fairly even. Nothing seemed to give way on either side of the scoring column as they wrapped up the period all knotted up. The second quarter was a strong effort for them as they continued to battle, and they were able to close out the half in a good position. And taking a look at the Raptors, Kenny, what did you see out there?
Well, their playmakers were in top form tonight. They showed great court vision and great ball movement. That's why they had so many assists. It's much easier to defend guys who don't want to pass the basketball.
And over to Shaq. Now your take on the Clippers.
They're giving up way too many good looks. You want to keep your opponent under 50% shooting? They have not done that. What's the solution? Maybe more ball pressure, more physicality down low. Whatever it is, Ernie, they need to figure it out.
Just about time for the third quarter to get underway, and we'll see you again at the Horn.